Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And today I'm going to share with you how I healed my gut and my skin. And this is something that I've really wanted to share because it's literally been a journey and an experience that has, without sounding too cliche, literally changed my life and how I felt about my skin and the relationship to it. And today I really want to share some actual science behind it, and when I did all my research and my own experience and what you can do, because if you're also going through something similar, or you're really trying to work out like why you're having some flare-ups or other things, again, just a disclaimer, I'm no doctor, but it's definitely my own research and things that I've applied in my own life that have actually helped. So I really hope that you learn something from this and any tips or advice that you might like to try for yourself. And yeah, we'll jump into it. But before I begin, if you're new, welcome. And my name is Ria, and I help women. I help people talk about mental health, well-being, physical health, emotional well-being, and just taking care of yourself from the inside out. I really believe that is the foundation of everything. And yeah, just learning how to take care of ourselves, but gently, and in a society where things just feel so fast paced and your attention is being grabbed in so many different areas, like what are the true things that we can apply into our life that will actually make an impact? Because there's so much information, so I'm going to try and keep this really super clear and punchy for you today. So to jump straight in my notes, I've kind of understood that even when I was growing up, skincare was always taught to me, or sold to all of us really, that it's putting things on top of your face. And essentially I learned that I did more harm than good when I was a bit younger. Like I used like more chemicals that I didn't need to, like more abrasive things, and I basically, in a short story, basically didn't really help my skin barrier. Like I made it quite sensitive. And also the other part of that is when I was at uni, I was eating really badly. Like I used to eat Nutella out of a jar. It was great, but it was just things like that, and heavily processed food I used to eat. The veg was not vegging. There was just nothing really there. And it wasn't good. And I definitely was under stress for a few reasons, and obviously just like exams and stuff like that. Like it's just a lot of things in one bucket. But I had no idea that the way my skin was reacting was because of all those things, but because even deeper, my gut was being affected. And once I realized this and I fixed it and I cut a few things out, a lot changed. So I used to suffer a lot from bloating, like those breakouts, fatigue in particular, and also I did discover later down the line that I had food intolerances. So I had gluten and dairy intolerances, which I discovered about maybe 6-7 years ago now. And that literally changed my life, which I'll come on to. I also had a course of antibiotics, but not just one, actually multiple, which if you didn't know, it ruins your gut lining. So that means that whatever protection is around your gut, when you take too many antibiotics, it basically erodes away your gut lining and means that toxins can go into your bloodstream and then contribute to inflammation. So that was also another point in my life where they were all kind of adding up, and also like besides the gluten dairy intolerance, like I also just had other inflammation like eczema. I used to have that a lot around my elbows and my knees, and touch wood, thankfully, like they've all calmed down and basically nearly gone now, pretty much gone actually in some places. So I'm really, really grateful. So I just want you to know that gut health is so important. If no one said this to you before, I know it's being talked about so much now, but gut health is super important. So basically your gut is not just about your digestion as we know and hear it to be, it's actually the foundation of your entire health, which blew my mind. So key things that I want to share with you is that your gut and your immune system are so interlinked. Again, this is such a crazy thought to me, but around 70% of your immune system lives in your gut, which again, just let that sink in. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. If your gut then is off, your body will then struggle to fight the inflammation that you're going through, you're experiencing. So that's why you might be feeling more breakouts, or you might be having flare-ups, or even feeling run down and tired. It's all interlinked to each other. I've already touched upon how gut health links to inflammation, so that's another key bit that I wanted to share from like an actual impact perspective. Your hormones, your gut affects your hormones, so it actually helps regulate estrogen, which is so interesting, and also other hormones as well. And any imbalance within your gut can lead to things such as hormonal acne. It can also contribute to irregular cycles as a woman, and also mood swings and anxiety and things like that. So if you're noticing that your skin is flaring up around your cycle, it is obviously like, you know, what your body is going through, hormonal changes, but also can be partly your gut, potentially too. And mental well-being is the other key thing that I really want to talk about and discuss, because like, again, I truly believe that like your body and your mind is so interlinked, and your skin health, like it's all connected, like it's all one system. And if one area is off, like, or needs healing, then it will affect other areas. This is things even like stress. Like if you're feeling stress in your body, you're going to, or in your mind, like you're going to feel it. It's going to flare up in your skin. So it's just so many different things. So basically the way your gut affects your mental health and well-being is that your gut produces neurotransmitters such as serotonin. So serotonin, I learned this more recently, actually helps your emotional regulation, which blew my mind. It's your gut actually produces that, which is incredible. So if you're having poor gut health, that means that you can actually feel like symptoms across your mental well-being, such as anxiety, low mood, even brain fog. So that blew my mind. So I then also noticed when I started to work and improve on this, like these things got so much better. So that's the only one, like, other thing that I wanted to share, is that how it connects to your mental well-being and how you feel. And the other thing is like nutrient absorption. So obviously we talked about it can leak into your bloodstream, which is crazy, but even if you eat healthy and you have a damaged gut, it still means that your body can't absorb the nutrients properly. So what I mean is, like, which I'll come on to what I actually did, is even though I started to change my diet at the beginning, like I also needed to work on healing my gut, like taking those steps to make sure that it was getting back to a healthy and like stronger position after the antibiotics basically eroded. So it's leaky gut and things like that. So just, yeah, it can, interestingly, if you're not obviously absorbing the nutrients and your gut isn't able to like do what it needs to do, like, it means your skin is not going to repair in the same way, or as well your hair even might not even be as like healthy or nourished, etc. So nutrient absorption is a huge thing. So yeah, basically overall, everything internal like that I'm learning, or I've learned about the gut, is essentially going to contribute to how like your skin is going to be, how you're feeling also. Not just from this, of course, there's so many other factors, but it can be a really big part to play. So basically what I want to give you in this video is like, doing things right on the outside is all great, but you need to do things internally to make that longer term change and effect. So now I really like to share with you what I actually did, and also just share a little bit more about like interweave more of the science behind this. So to talk about the gut skin axis, if you haven't heard about this before, basically your gut and your skin are connected through your immune system, inflammation, and also your hormones. So they're the kind of three takeaways to think about how your gut and your skin health is connected. And also when your gut is imbalanced, so when you've got bad bacteria overpowering your good bacteria, that can also lead to inflammation, right? So again, as we all know, and we also want to make sure that we're looking after healing that gut lining. So let's jump into what I actually did. So I realize, I think I mentioned at the start, my gluten and dairy intolerance. I don't want to say that like everyone's got gluten dairy intolerance, of course not. That's not like, I'm not gonna like suggest to like cut it out. Like if you're fine with it and it has no impact to you, we've all got different levels of sensitivity. I just knew because I looked and did like a food test, and I scored really highly with being affected by like wheat and rye, barley, all of that sort of stuff, and also milk product, cheese, sadly. I miss cheese so much, and just a nice dessert. But I can tell you, my family will echo this, is I was so disciplined. I was so proud of myself. I was like, how did I do this? I don't even know. But I just was in such a low place with how my skin was and how I was feeling. I think in my first video, I think I had like a picture of how bad my acne was. So I really hope that, you know, if you want to see, you can have a look and see like how it was. It was tough, and I basically learned to cut gluten and dairy out, and this isn't actually as hard as it might seem. There are so many good alternatives these days. I know it's still processed, let's be honest, like gluten-free bread, etc., all that sort of stuff. It's still processed. However, cutting it out or having things that are naturally still going to fill you up, and like complex carbohydrates such as sweet potatoes, even rice, even quinoa, all these sort of things, these grains are really good for you and nourish you, even if not even more so like than I even realized. And I just understood that gluten creates inflammation, like milk products create inflammation, like because of the hormones, etc. And it's just something that I realized I needed to cut out. So I highly recommend like maybe give it some time just to test. Like if you think you might have some sensitivities to it, or your stomach is hurting or so on, try it out and see how you feel. Again, don't like cut it out if you don't need to, but I stuck to this. I didn't even cave in like for 6 months, and what I would say is your discipline here is everything and your goal is everything. So, and it helped heal my gut so much, because over the time that I did this, my skin just cleared. It was insane. Across with the other things that I'm going to talk about, like it will make me emotional thinking about it, but it was like, I then at that moment in time, like when I saw the transformation happening over like 2-3 months, 4 months, 5 months, I was like, whoa, like my skin, my internal health has so much power, and if I just do what my body needs and give it what it needs, like I can, it has the power to heal itself, and it did. So anyway, I highly recommend that. The next thing I wanted to talk about is rebuilding your gut bacteria. So as I mentioned, I think as well that I basically had antibiotics for way longer than I should have been. The doctor that I went to, I explained it in my first video, they basically put me on antibiotics for nearly a year. Insane. It's actually insane, and it was doing good at the time. Obviously, like cleared the skin, but it made it worse longer term. Whenever I used to come off it, it wasn't a long-term solution. I'm really surprised that doctor even gave me that course for that long, but I didn't know, I didn't do any research again, so I needed to heal that. So I ensured to help my microbiome, which is like the mix of the good bacteria and healthy bacteria, back into my gut. I ate a lot more probiotics, so I discovered things like kimchi, which is fermented. I really love kimchi now. Like I have it like basically every day, and that, I don't know what it does, but it's so good. Like, of course I don't know, like it does, it has all the great nutrients in it, but it honestly healed my skin so much. I also take probiotics as well. Like I've been taking it for a few years now. I normally take it in the morning. I don't know if it depends, but I normally take it in the morning. I also have kombucha. I love kombucha. Like, I know it's become like a health fad thing, but I think I knew about it years ago, and I was like, wow, like it's just, again, there's cultures, really good probiotic cultures within kombucha. It's like a nice fizzy drink that's good for you and isn't full of rubbish, and it's lightly caffeinated because it's got green tea in it as well. So it's a nice like pick me up. But I actually have kombucha, I think, every day now, or every other day. I don't think you're meant to have more than one. I think it's not too good, but I have it like every day, every other day now, so I highly recommend that. And if you can have dairy, yogurt is so huge, and also things like kefir. Like integrating these into your diet, it will do so much good for you. Honestly, I can't even like recommend it enough. So highly recommend it. In terms of also healing your gut and supporting your gut lining to rebuild, fiber is so important. That helps feed your good bacteria. So where you can, like, fiber rich food will be really good for you. Obviously everything in moderation, but like ensuring that you get enough fiber essentially to help feed that good bacteria. Prebiotics, so these are things such as like onions and garlic and banana and stuff like that. They're also so important to have. Bone broth, again, I know this is another like thing that might be a bit more like trend, whatever, but I actually have bone broth maybe like once or twice a week now, and I genuinely feel like it's had like a really good impact, because it's like it's also full of collagen too if you get like a good brand. So I think, yeah, I highly recommend having bone broth. And the other thing, to something to cut out, sugar. I was so disciplined. I don't know where this came from. Like I said, it was just like coming from a place of feeling really low, but just wanting to make commitments to myself and healing. And I also just knew that I think I watched a documentary and someone was like, refined sugar is poison, and that just stood with me. Like, it contributes to a lot of different parts of your health, right? Like, and negatively, unfortunately. So again, I'm not going to I can't preach to, completely cut it out, but if you can reduce sugar, chocolate bars, read the ingredients list. I think that is the next best thing. If sugar is right at the top of that ingredient list, or like fructose or like corn syrup, all these things which are really processed and not nourishing or good for your body, and if you think to myself like, will my body like this, my skin like this, and if the answer is no, I think if you truly want to make that like lifestyle commitment to yourself and change, try and cut it out. Like, I try and have like sugar, like unrefined sugar, or things like honey if I want to sweeten something, cane sugar. Like, I think they're also, again, like, there's sugar, but like I think I definitely treat myself. Like, I still love to have like pancakes and whatnot, right? I'll eat it and enjoy it, but what I'm trying to say is, like, removing it from your everyday is so important. It can cause those big red spots and whatnot, and it just wasn't good. So I highly recommend that. Just changing your relationship with sugar. Now when I have sugar, I'm like, wow, this is so sweet. And it's so funny because your tongue and like your taste buds can, like, because you've like retrained them in some way to not have that sugar. Like, it's insane. Like, now when I have something, I'm like, this is way too sweet. But I feel good for it, because I'm so glad that my skin has healed the way it has, and I'll keep nourishing it. And I think it also ages you, and which again is like, it's not a bad thing at all. Like, from the aging perspective, it's more just like premature. Like, it's kind of constricting, and not very like nourishing, I think is the word. And finally, on the food bit, is reducing ultra processed food. So whatever you see as like a ready-made meal, try and cook fresh where you can, try and eat fresh where you can. I think it's just so key, because you know what's going in there. There's not added like ingredients or preservatives, etc., that are not really going to help your skin out. So just, if you can, definitely do that. And the last bit I really want to talk about is lifestyle factors. If you're going through a point where you're feeling really low and your skin is flaring up, or you're feeling really stressed, like, just remember that stress is, it's sadly like, so common, and it does affect your gut health and even sleep. Like, that impacts your repairing of, as we know, and like your hormone balance, etc. So just like, be aware of what might be causing stress, and is there any ways that you can eliminate it somehow? Like, really think about that. Like, write down, like, journal about it, because if you're stressing over something that's out of your control, whatever, I think it's just so important to realize how stress shows up in your skin, and also sleep too. Again, all of these help your gut. So it's all connected, which is insane. So the last kind of bit that I wanted to reflect on from my notes is just things to, like, mistakes to avoid, essentially. First is, don't try and cut out too much too quickly. I think gradual changes make it easier, and consistency of those changes makes it easier, if that makes sense. So don't like immediately change up your diet and buy everything super healthy. Like start integrating things into your weekly meals. Like if it's like having that kombucha, great. If it's starting to eat more like healthy fats or things that nourish your gut, like probiotic rich foods, but also like obviously having the other kind of essentials, as we know, like veg, protein, carbs, whatever. Like it's ensuring you're getting that fresh food, but like you want to just, the whole point is you want to make it sustainable. And sometimes when you make big changes, like it just doesn't make it easy to sustain. So I highly recommend that. Also, don't rely on supplements. Like I think definitely just one tip is don't go away and buy probiotics, and like, you know, that's not going to cure. It's food, it's lifestyle as well. So when you can marry all these up together, like they'll combine. And there's definitely a space for probiotics. Like I take them, they're actually on my desk. So like it's like, yeah, I highly recommend having that, but remembering not to rely on them only. Like I mentioned about stress, don't ignore it. Like what can you do to eliminate it if it's something is affecting you? And also don't expect overnight results. Like this took me months, and it's worth it. It's so worth it, because it is the best thing I think I've ever done for my health. I also need to mention that I definitely got back into like moving more in gym and like good sweat, right? Like that all helps just generally. But this isn't an overnight thing, so don't give up hope. Don't give up hope, and remember, the good things take time. I know our culture and society is like instant results. Like do this and your skin will be better the next day when you wake up. Like I don't, honestly, truly, I don't think, unless it's like some magic in that product, but it's just, that's not sustainable and consistent. Like your body needs time to rebuild and heal, and giving it that patience and care. And you know, when you go out, like it's so easy to get tempted, I know, but if there's something like not gluten free on the menu, or something that's, you know is going to cause you inflammation, like, you know, have the courage to share with your friends, like, you know, could we find somewhere that's got some more options? That'll be really great, because you're taking it seriously. Basically, it's not like a one like change, you know. So I just highly recommend I highly recommend just being consistent, and like, not to be sad, but get excited about it, because it's like the biggest commitment you're making is to healing yourself and like inside out, and it's worth it. Because like, if you want to use me as an example, like it's so worth it, and it's so possible. But also just remember, if there's other health factors going on in your life, like please like speak to a professional, like stress related, if it's therapy, or if there's other sort of health like serious conditions, like get them checked. This is not what that's about. This is more like things that might be more in your control than a knowledge that I wish I knew when I started this, and wish I didn't do. But you learn through what you got wrong, right? Or you learn through what you didn't know. So, but yeah, I really, really hope that this has helped you in some way. You've got some tips, some useful things. This is genuinely what I did, like, and what I continue to do to this day, which is insane. But I hope that if you do this, you stick to it, you'll see skin improvements, you'll see better digestion, you'll just feel a bit more energetic within yourself, and just know, like, yeah, it's sustainable, it's not instant. And I think also the last bit I wanted to share is that if you have any questions or just thoughts on it, like please, like definitely chat. Like I'm more than happy to share any thoughts, and I wish you all the best if this is something you're struggling with or you're working through, we should say. But yeah, thank you again, and I really hope today was helpful for you. And yeah, check out the description box below, because I'm going to share some of the key products that I love and I've been using for nearly years now, that have really helped me, and I really hope that they might help you too. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video. See you soon. Bye.